dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good Monday afternoon to you. I'm Dakota Makris. First at 4, the 2021 Source Summit is in Corbin for the first time ever this week on Wednesday and Thursday. WYMT's Zach Hawk went to Corbin and has more on what to expect from the summit later this week.
Nearly 1,500 people have registered for the event, where they will network and work together to try to find solutions for communities in decline after the coal industry left. The event kicks off Wednesday evening with a reception downtown and events at the Corbin Arena. Tourism officials are excited to see an impact on hotels, restaurants, gas stations, and shops. The summit offers art exhibits at the arena, and the main feature, educational sessions that help leaders to learn to write grants, expand broadband, or revitalize downtown communities.
You know, it's a great opportunity for people to come together to network, to idea share, to learn about new things that are going on in Appalachia and how they can kind of recreate some of those things in their community.
Among the attendees will be local residents, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, and elected officials. In Corbin, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
The annual Source Summit was previously held in Pikeville, but ahead of this year, the organization opened up a bidding process that awarded Corbin the event.
It's another warm one out there after weekend days in the upper 70s to near 80 for daytime highs. That looks to continue right on into the beginning of the work week. UVA-wise camera showing we have some of those fair weather clouds, but also watching some of those mid-level clouds work on in. The kind of clouds you see ahead of a cold front, which is something we'll get into a little bit later on. Buffalo Mountain, a similar scene, sitting at 82 warm degrees right now. That's actually the warm spot in the region, right in Hazard. Most of the rest of us in those middle to upper 70s, few lower 80s. Prestonsburg and Jackson checking in at 81, and it's 80 in Middlesboro. So a very late summer-like day outside. And on Pinpoint Doppler, well, it is a quiet sweep across the entire area. Can't say the same, though, as you head out to our west. You notice some of those clouds already working in. We'll continue to see more clouds work in overnight because we do have a cold front on the way. Keep that WYMT weather app handy. You can track that front in real time. Plus, see that forecast tonight as we fall into those middle 60s. We do have more than one cold front in the forecast, though, for the week, and I'll have the details on that coming up in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Evan, thank you. We could just be weeks away from having the first FDA-approved COVID treatment that patients can receive at home. Merck has asked the FDA for an emergency use authorization for the first pill to treat COVID-19 after clinical trials showed it helps save lives. Current treatments such as Regeneron require patients to receive infusions. The Merck drug could be given at home, relieving the crush of COVID cases in hospitals.
As soon as it's FDA approved, we can start to prescribe it to patients rather than them having to come into an emergency room and be given intravenous therapy of an antibody or a shot of an antibody. They can get a pill.
Health officials say the new COVID treatment is exciting, but they say the best measure against COVID is for still people get vaccinated. Healthcare workers have been fighting the COVID pandemic for more than a year and a half. Now we're finding out the toll it's taking on their mental health. Doctors have found that healthcare workers have increased rates of burnout, anxiety, are at risk of developing post-traumatic stress disorder, and have ongoing long-term effects from stress through a program called Warrior Watch. Doctors and nurses wear Apple Watches to monitor their heart rate and fill out surveys to monitor stress. Earlier, we spoke with ARH and MCHC infectious disease specialist Dr. Ferris Cotter and ARH Pharmaceutical Services CEO Jeff Akers for our Issues and Answers segment to discuss COVID numbers at ARH and new vaccine updates. One topic in particular discussed was a breakthrough pill that can help lessen the severity of COVID-19. The drug maker Merck has recently been working on a pill that can help with COVID-19 symptoms, ultimately reducing hospitalization and deaths by 50%. Jeff Akers says recent trials with the drug have been successful.
They're looking at studies, an injectable form for use in the hospital. But right now, this form of that drug is really going to be used only for outpatients, so mild to moderate patients, kind of similar to patients that would normally get an infusion of a monoclonal antibody.
Now, we'll have more on this breakthrough drug and other vaccination updates tonight when you join us at 6 o'clock. Well, now is your chance to see the world's greatest treasures from the edge of space. Stratospheric ballooning company Worldview has opened up reservations for its 5-day adventures. 8 passengers and 2 crew members will soar 100,000 feet for 6 to 12 hours at a time. They are scheduled to begin in early 2024. But the cost is $50,000 per seat. Future locations include the Great Barrier Reef, the Serengeti, the Aurora Borealis, the Giza Pyramids, and the Great Wall of China. Well, it's not often you get to see the raw power of Mother Nature, even from a safe distance. Well, the volcano on La Palma, with its fountains of lava and rivers of molten rock, is drawing people to Spain's Canary Islands from around the world. This week's long eruption has grounded many flights, so tourists are flocking by ferry. They say this is an opportunity they didn't want to miss seeing.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see something like this, and we just thought it was worth making the journey.
But there is a dark side to this light show. Roughly 6,000 people have been evacuated and more than 1,000 buildings have been destroyed. About 18,000 athletes have crossed the finish line at the Boston Marathon. The 26.2-mile race was held today for the first time since the spring of 2019. The 125th Boston Marathon was scheduled for April 2020, but the pandemic forced it to be postponed and then canceled for the first time since 1897. Now, one runner was to cross the Boston Marathon finish line at 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 51 seconds. Today is National Indigenous Peoples Day. National Indigenous Peoples Day falls on the same day as Columbus Day, as a way to honor the people already living in the country when Christopher Columbus landed in 1492. In many parts of the country, rivers, towns, and other landmarks still have names originally given by native tribes. Indigenous people have left an indelible, mark of culture and traditions on the United States. Well, as we near the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, many immigrants are still fighting for permanent status here in the U.S. Thousands in Washington say creating better pathways to citizenship for millions of immigrants in the U.S. should be on the top of lawmakers' priority lists. Perhaps no one more than Ricardo Ortiz, a 30-year-old from Southwest Mexico who moved to the States 2 years ago.
A lot of them are here because they don't have opportunities in their country. They want to live in a better place for their children, for them, and also for their communities.
Ortiz grew up attending marches alongside his mother in their village and is there now organizing food distribution sites for 200 people a week. Well, heading over to Wall Street on this Monday, the Dow closes down more than 249 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Well, still to come here on Mountain News First at 4. There's a new corn maze opening in Floyd County. We'll have the latest on that and more.
And I hope you like warm weather because we got plenty of it in the forecast. I'll have that full breakdown straight ahead.
This is